In just his first season in the NBA with the Dallas Mavericks, Dereck Lively made an immediate and undeniable impact. Being a young center that has to play a critical role for a team led by superstars such as Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving is one of the hardest things to do, but Lively has stepped right up to the plate and brought more than just raw athleticism to the table. Being a supreme athlete can only get you so far, as Lively has great court awareness to notice this play happening and switches his route to pick this one off. Not only can he show the awareness with his scoring, as when Lively catches in space, he's able to scan the floor in a quick manner to find the open man. These short roll passes are something that is special about Lively's game, because all it takes is the defense leaving guys open off these rolls, and within a second, they're now watching the ball fall through the basket. Finds like this that have to be made in such a short period of time are special for guys his size and age. But hey, at the end of the day, we all know it's these slams right here where the defense forgets about them that get us all out of our seat. His presence for this Mavs team is something that was easily felt, as they needed a big who could not only be a perfect fit next to Kyrie and Luka, but someone who was versatile defensively as well. When people look at the numbers alone, they may gloss right over him and not believe the hype, but for those of us that know, we see him as a diamond in the rough. Putting up 8 points and 7 rebounds on 74% shooting is just a cover of Lively's game, as when you actually open up the book, you can see that there's a whole lot more to discover. You tell me, do you want to first discuss how he stays active around the rim to clean up shots, or do you want to see how effective he can be in the pick and roll? Hold on, wait. I already know what you're thinking. You want to see breakdowns of some of these crazy highlight plays, don't you? Well look, I'll never be one to let you down, so trust me when I say that his defense is probably the first thing we should dissect deeply. With a 42.3 defended field goal percentage, Lively is making guys convert around 8.5% less of their shots when guarded by him, and for a rookie, this is amazing. He's agile enough to stay with smaller guys off the dribble to then use that length to send shots back, but then he can also absorb the contact coming at him and utilize that length to go straight up without fouling to force the miss. Pretty much a little bit of both worlds is what I like to call it. Everybody wants a big who can get in the air and block shots like he's spiking a volleyball, but then there's other times where you want the guy who will put his hand straight up in the air like he's on an episode of Cops. Both options offer a ton of protection at the rim, but it's all about knowing when to use one or the other. Take this play for an example. When Jokic starts using his body to bump Lively inside, this now creates a scenario where their bodies are practically glued together. So jumping at this moment would easily result in a foul, so what's the smart thing to do in this situation? Well, just go straight up with that 9-foot reach to make this one tough for Jokic. You'll have these times where bigs will enforce that bully playstyle down low to then feed some up fakes, and this right here is exactly why Lively having the discernment of when to jump or stay on his feet with his hand straight up is so key. This length of his is something that offensive players get surprised by, as when Derrick Rose comes off the screen, you can see that he thinks he's going to easily get into this jumper, but trust me, he soon realizes just how much ground Lively can cover. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. It'll get to a point where he's forcing guys to rethink their shot, and once they try to get the pass off, well, it's getting picked off. These type of stops will always be useful to keep him out that foul trouble, as putting your hand straight up minimizes that whistle, but when you want to make it known that the paint is yours, well, here's where you gotta be more dominant. Since the Mavericks don't have the best perimeter defenders, guys tend to slip past to get an angle to the basket, but now the Mavericks have a 7'1" athletic big who doesn't let this happen without any consequences. Versus the Hawks, Luka acts like he's trying to stop Trae Young when he attacks, but we all know that this is low effort as Young gets right by him. And then what looks like will be a wide open bucket turns into a block from out of nowhere from Lively. Attackers will honestly think they made it all the way to the rim to go add 2 points to their stats, but hey, when you're dealing with D-Live, I'm not so sure about that. With 1.4 blocks per game, this put Lively in third behind Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama amongst all rookies in the 2024 season, and 13th across the whole entire league. With teams knowing that he's a problem when getting inside, you'll see guys not even attempt to go up when he's in the vicinity, and then just when your big thinks he has an opening off the dump off, Lively re-enters the play to show him different. That ability to shut off the water multiple times is something this Mavs team needed, as guys will make their way to the paint which Lively is able to cut off, but then he's able to get back to his initial man to stop the bucket from happening. It's times like this where you would assume the Bulls will score on the break, but nah, Lively stands tall during the first attack, and then when Vucevic goes up, the shot gets sent back down. This defense of his is a glaring bright spot, as he's only going into his second season while doing all of this as a rookie. He's not looked at as a major mismatch, as he can move his feet to stay with guys to then delete the shot. He can stop all penetration to the basket to then redirect his focus to the next man to block the layup. And with all this versatility, it leads to Lively being able to take away multiple looks within one offensive possession. Yeah, tell me about it. This is a lot of value to add to a team. But don't think it stops right there, because there's a whole nother side to his game, and this is what breeds those highlight plays left and right. I know it may seem small, but Lively understands where to place himself within the offense, so by not being all the way spaced out to the 3, nor being too deep in the paint, when Sabonis leaves to go help on the drive, he's now right in position to go get this alley-oop connection. This right here poses a threat for every defense in the league, because while most bigs will just X themselves out the play or just be a non-factor, Lively not only inserts himself in positions to succeed, but he also makes sure to capitalize on every opportunity given. As a defender, you honestly can't be sleeping or ball watching heavy when you're guarding him, as even if your teammate tries to jam him up a little bit to throw off his timing, he's simply unfazed and will still rise up to throw it down. This activity around the rim is special, and the great thing is that it doesn't just stop with these lobs. With his energetic nature and desire to leave it all on the floor, Lively will out-hustle the opposing team when it comes to the loose balls, and as a result, you now have yourself a 4-point play. Now, will it be a 4-point play every time? Probably not. But what this does bring is second chances for the Mavericks. Lively himself grabs 2.5 offensive rebounds per game, which would rank him at 8th in the league amongst all players. I understand that these aren't the most eye-catching stats or plays to talk about, but when you see a player go crash the board while 3 Clipper defenders watch, it shows you the heart he has, the kick out shows you his awareness and unselfishness, and the dunk, well, it shows you the fearlessness. Every team, and when I say every, I truly mean it, every team would want a player like Lively on their roster. It's one thing to teach someone to sit in the corner and shoot, or just swing the ball when needed, but trust me, having heart is something that can't be taught. Like on this play versus Minnesota, you can clearly see that there's 3 guys around the rim for the Wolves, but no one is paying attention to their surroundings, so they end up giving this momentum building slam. If you watch him operate on the floor, you can see that D-Live has quickly become a key player for the Mavericks, showing his heart and intensity on both ends of the floor. Defensively, his shot blocking, rim protection, and ability to switch on to smaller players has solidified him as an anchor in the paint, and his timing and instincts allow Dallas to adjust their defensive schemes with confidence, giving them that much needed boost they've been missing. As the season gets underway and in about a month or so, we should see an increased role for Lively and hopefully an exciting season for the Dallas Mavericks. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.